Get him out of here. He whispered something back that I couldn't understand. The whole room was singing. We all kept playing, but I couldn't stop looking at the stranger in scarves. Halfway through paradise, I couldn't take anymore. Who is this guy? Get him out of here. This time I hear him perfectly. Dude, it's Billy Ray Cyrus. Welcome to Hollywood. I hate the word supergroup. It's a cheap way out. Lazy journalists love to put tags on things to sum up a whole genre or a movement with one or two word phrases that will make their job a little easier. If the tag can take a little backhanded swipe at a band, even better. We've seen this a million times. Stoner rock, grunge, indie, hair metal. What the? The supergroup tag is something Velvet and Revolver had to deal with in our first year. Fans never called us a supergroup, mind you. Only the journalist. To label an act a supergroup suggests that they were formed for the sake of cashing in on their superstar power. Critiques couldn't handle the fact that a few of us from internationally famous band GNR were getting together with the lead singer of another international famous band, Stone Temple Pilots, to make music together because we love the results. To them, GNR plus STP equals money. But let's be frank, when you have been playing music in successful bands for a while, your friends and comrades in the fields are others like you. These are the people you know. Enough with the tags, enough with the hate. You're better than that. King of Chaos is a supergroup. It's a chance for a bunch of old school musicians to get together with our friends and jam. It's a conglomeration. It's a conglomeration. It's a conglomeration of rockers who had hit who had hits in the 70s, 80s, 90s and hundreds. Well, 2000. I mean 2000s. I don't know why I said 100, bro. And who go out and play huge shows in faraway places. And we get paid. There's me, Slash, Matt Sorum, and Gilby Clark from GNR, Joe Elliott, Def Leppard, Glenn Hughes, Deep Purple, that's his name, I guess, Deep Purple, Corey Taylor, Slipknot, Ed Roland, Collective Soul, Dave Kushner, Velvet Revolver, Steve Stevens, Billy Idol, and Miles Kennedy, Alter Bridge. We play songs from all over our collections, catalogs from Smoke on the Water to November Rain. It's a blast. We're all professional business travelers, to say the least, and know how to pack and prepare for international business. I've already told you about my tender skin. So, we were at the Avalon warming up for a tour of South America. There had been many times in my life when a tour of South America with some of these guys would be enough to send me into a panic attack and a bottle of vodka. That night, I couldn't have been more excited. I went through my 20s with a scorched earth policy. Most of us don't have the tools or experience to deal with personal carnage that a busy and ever-changing life of being young can bring. I could I could have just written people off were and they very well could have done that back to me. Especially my good friend Gilby in the maelstrom that ensued after GNR's Use Your Illusions tour. Gilby was somehow chucked from the lineup. I say somehow because, in all honesty, I don't remember precise details about the second half of 1993 and the beginnings of 1994. All I know for sure is that we had a new Guns N' Roses pinball machine. I don't intend to get into a whole video game versus pinball machine war here, but it's hard to deny the romance, the blinking lights of a pinball machine. The sound of the pinballs dropping into the catch still raises the heart rates of us 70 kids. We can still picture the other kids gathering around the glass as we took our turns. If you were good, you were. If you were good, you gave off a Steve McQueen like mystique. The kids who were good at pinball got laid more. kind of, kind of like video games of today, right? Oh wait, Slash was always one of those Steve McQueen like pinball studs. He was good at every pinball game out there. Not that this should come out as a surprise, whether it's guitars, snakes, dinosaurs, or pinball. Slash studies and excels at the things he is passionate about. Something during the Use Your Illusion tour slash a collector as well as a player hooked us with manufactured data east, and the idea of Guns N' Roses games started getting floated around. We grew up with some great pinball machines. The Playboy machine that was epic. The Rolling Stones had one. Kiss had one. They were gambling themed games, Western themed games. For our band to actually be entered into a conversation of having our own game was a totally cool and unbelievable step in our otherwise totally unbelievable ride up the rock and roll escalator. Like I said, I wasn't very conscious at the time, but I remember going to a recording studio in the in the San Fernando Valley to do a voiceover sound bites for the game. The oh dude, when you lose a ball is me. I think McBob laid down an introduction for the game the same way he ushered us on stage every night. Of all the bands in the world, this is definitely one of them. McBob has a huge deep voice and can sound exactly like the guy on one of the Monsters truck radio commercials. McBob also had a very dry sense of humor and would change up his intros and the band to fit certain opportunities. For example, when we were late to this, when we were late to the take the stage, McBob would announce as what McBob would announce us as the band that put the punk in punctuality. Slash worked hard on the design of the game and was rightfully proud of the finished product. I was blown away when the machine showed up at my house. We each got one for free. I still have it, and it has a little plaque in the bottom right hand corner with my name on it. The game was designed after Stradlin. The game was designed after Izzy Stradlin left the band and Gilby started playing with us. It's obvious that it was a foregone conclusion that Gilby would be in the band for keeps, as his picture was included on the big mural of the band of the game. Ah, poor rock bands. ah, but rock bands can be a fickle bitch, and Gilby, in a flash of confusion and a hiccup of GNR, growing pains, and suddenly Wasn't in the band anymore. Gilby, pissed off for sure, sued us for using his likeliness on the machine. I remember thinking back then that this was a point when Gilby rightfully, ha- when Gilby could. I apologize for choking on every word. um, Let me restart this paragraph really quick. Gilby, pissed off for sure, sued us for using his likeness on the machine, I remember thinking back then that this was a point when Gilby rightfully could have written me off for life for not standing up for him, and I could have just carried on without him in my life ever again as well. I think we both did that for a while. There was a lot of going on. My drinking began to drive Matt Sorum and Slash away from me. After the Use Your Illusion tour, even though Gilby was out GNR, he kept on playing live with Matt and Slash for a project they all just finished. Slash's Snake Pit. I guess I could have resented that, and that could have just resented they could have just kept resenting me. In the US, in the US, we are all told that at 18 years of age, you're an adult. For me, real adulthood didn't come until I was 31. I had no idea how to take responsibility for my actions before then. I'm still trying to figure out. I, it came out, it came to me all at once on stage at the Avalon. Like these guys, I like these guys, I thought. No, I love these guys. I've passed some of my life's most momentous mile makers Slash Gilby, with Slash and Gilby. And Gilby is a good guy and great friend. And I sometimes fight like cats and Matt and I sometimes fight like cats and dogs. But at the bottom of it, all we have sincere respect for each other. We can all be motherfuckers from time to time, but that's life. When I became an adult, I made a con- concerted effort to repair my friendship with these guys. Resentment is a brutal thing. In the first year or two after I got sober, I found myself swimming in a dense black swamp of resentment and regret. I heard stories about myself in which I was the punchline. I started to recognize that I started to recognize what alcoholism had kept me from doing, from experiencing. My peculiar my peculiar life path at the time thought led me to a martial arts discipline that dealt with taking responsibility for your own actions and bettering yourself for yourself. Self discipline and self respect were completely new ideas to me. I was desperate for a new way of life, and because I was and still am in such awe of how much at peace my martial arts teacher was. I followed his instruction to the extreme. I wanted just a little part of that peace. Working past regret and resentment was key to me actually liking myself. The more I liked and trusted myself, the less I blamed others. I stopped thinking about what could have been and focused on the things that I could do now. But that was just my own personal story. And these three guys had found their own way past some of the resentments and regret. We all eventually became friends again, played in bands together, and found ourselves in a faraway places, playing great rock songs together in front of a ton of people, with Billy Ray Cyrus in support. Nice.